Hello everyone, it's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and before the video starts, I just wanted to let everyone know that I have an Indiegogo live right now of my very first comic book cover ever. So if you like me and you want to support my artwork, go on to the Indiegogo, the link is in the description below, and check out some of the tiers, and if you support it, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much everyone, and now on to today's video. What's up all my Ewoks, Tribbles, Droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today I am going to be talking about actress Tessa Thompson because she did a big no-no. She said some things that are making the rounds on Twitter and on the news about how she said something along the lines of she doesn't want to be on a set that's full of white people, and specifically she doesn't want to be surrounded by white men on set. Now, looking at that in itself, it's a very incriminating thing for somebody to say. It's a very blatantly racist thing for somebody to say. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, well, what if, what if a white person said that about black people? Immediately, they would be completely exiled from Hollywood. They would be labeled a racist. They would never be able to work again. But because Tessa Thompson is a black woman, she's getting a pass on it. Now, just looking at those statements in itself, yes, those are very blatantly racist statements to make, especially for somebody with the stance that she has in Hollywood. Now, I'm not a Tessa Thompson expert. I don't know everything about her. There's some actors and actresses that I really like, and I watch their interviews. I watch, every movie that they're in because I really am a fan of their work. And sometimes when you know a person better than, let's say as much as you can know an actor or actress, let's say you've watched, countless interviews of them. And so you kind of have an idea of the way that their mind works, of their mannerisms, the way that they say things. And so when you see an interview or you see, oh, this is what this person said in a headline, you can, associate that with what you've seen in the past, and you can say, oh, well, I know what kind of tone or voice they would have. I know that that's a sarcastic comment, or I know that that's a serious comment. It's kind of like when you're texting your friends, and you could text your best friend and say, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? And it's like, your best friend would probably know, oh, you mean it as in like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with you, bro? Like, kind of that. But if it was somebody that you don't know so well, they'd be like, whoa, why is Anna mad at me? Like, why is Anna texting me this? But, it's one of those things that once you know someone, you know the way that they would talk, you know the way that they text, you know those kind of things without having to see it. Now, a really big problem in Hollywood is that not a lot of people know these people, so we don't know what their mannerisms are. We don't know if they're being sarcastic or not. We have to see it, and this is something I stress so much for people, especially if you want, you're up and coming, you're starting your YouTube channel, and don't just go off of an interview. Go try to track down the original source. Go try to find a recording of said interview. That way you can hear the person's tone of voice. The best thing you could possibly find is an actual video of an interview. That way you can see their body language on top of hearing their tone of voice. You know what they mean when you're watching it. It's kind of like how when Captain Marvel was coming out and Brie Larson is sitting there going like, is that a personal attack? I want to be the first me. Thank you very much. It's like, we saw that. They even tried to edit those interviews so that way the camera wouldn't be on her, so you wouldn't see her facial expression, so because she's such an unlikable person. Now, if you have, somebody else, like let's look at the interview like Scarlett Johansson did. She might say something like to Brie, but she's laughing, she's being so carefree and laid back, and you could say that like, oh, is that like a personal attack kind of thing? And you're just easy breezy type of person as compared to Brie Larson, where she's just like, oh my god, is that a personal attack or something? It's like, that's a very different personality type. And the reason why people lost their shit when Captain Marvel was coming out was because of just the, I don't know how else to say this, but the very unpleasant and unlikable personality that Brie Larson has, especially when she was marketing that movie. We saw that. We physically saw the evidence on video. It wasn't something that was just in an interview and somebody could write off, oh, well, she was being sarcastic. It's like, no, we saw very much that she was not being sarcastic. So when you hear things like this, when you see statements like that, that just in and of itself look very fucked up and very blatantly racist, go try to hunt down the source. Now, I found the source. This is actually something that Tessa Thompson said at a red carpet event for Creed 2 back in 2018. This is something that she said 2 years ago that is getting taken out of context and getting, I understand that news tabloids have nothing to talk about right now, so they're trying to go dig up old things and try to make these controversies happen because we're all stuck inside and quarantined because of the plague. But still, it's like, the way that she says it, I don't necessarily agree with what she's saying, but when you actually look at the video footage from this interview, it's not the way it's being painted online. So I have this little clip pulled up. I'm going to play it for you right now, and then I'll be right back to talk about it.
I want to see work that really looks like the world in which we live. So there are lots of people of color. Look around. And it's also really exciting, not just what we put on screen, but also to work inside of productions that are inclusive. Like, I don't want to show up on set and just see a bunch of white people, no offense. And I don't want to work in the company of a bunch of men, no offense. You know, I want to show up on set and have it look like the world that I walk around in every day.
Now, as in poor taste as that was, it's not the terribleness that I said earlier, that's getting painted online. She's not blatantly coming out saying, I don't want to work with white people, I don't want to work with white men. What she's saying, even with adding on the no offense, in that case, it is offensive. It is. I can see that. You know, hearing that, immediately what I think of is that's a very entitled statement. Now, again, I've never met her. I don't think I will ever meet her unless there's a Comic-Con and she happens to be there. There's no chance of me ever running into Tessa Thompson, so there's no chance of me ever getting to know her as a human being. But just from that, it sounds very entitled. Now, for those of you, if you guys have not seen Creed or Creed 2, now I'm a really big Rocky fan, so I went and saw Creed when it came out in theaters on opening night. I was really excited about it. I like Michael B. Jordan. I was happy to see Rocky, you know, Sylvester Stallone reprise his role, and I thought that Tessa Thompson did a very good job in the movie. I think that she's, you know, I think that that's actually better work than in Marvel. And again, that has to do with writing, that has to do with direction. It's a lot of things that, this is why I always stress, don't judge an actor or actress just on one movie. Go and watch a bunch of them and see the way that they work with different people and how that can bring out different sides of their, you know, their abilities and their talents. She did a really good job. Creed 2, I'm kind of fuzzy on because I watched it, but I was super tired and I think I fell asleep a couple times, but I remember enjoying it overall. But one of the things about Creed 2 is, or especially about, Creed 1, is that it's very much about Michael B. Jordan being from LA and then going over to Boston and becoming one and, you know, trying to experience the environment there. And she's from Boston and she's kind of giving him shit because he's from LA and it's a different culture over in Boston, and she's kind of showing him the ropes, and, you know, they're having their little romance with it as well. And so I can understand the mindset she can have of how it's a different type of scenario being in a black community as compared to a white community, even being in a black community in Los Angeles as compared to being in a black community in Boston. So I can understand the mindset that she had, especially when you're so in depth in the role that you're playing in that movie. I still think that what she said is in very, very, very poor taste. And again, it sounds like it's entitled. It's like you're in a big Hollywood blockbuster movie. Why the hell are you complaining that the people that are setting up the sets for you, that are setting up the lights for you, that are making sure the set looks great when you're there, that are making sure the cameras are in the right place so you don't have to do the scene over and over again because the cameras are fucked up? Why are you complaining if they got hired because they are the best at that job, and they are there to make your job as easy as humanly fucking possible, so that way you can get the shot right and you can, you know, don't have to redo your scene over and over again. Why the hell would you be complaining if they got the best people for the job? Who the fuck cares if they're men? A lot of the time, people that are working on the crew are men because there's a lot of heavy lifting involved. That's an actual fact when it comes to movie making. You can go look on any sets. You're going to see more men working and doing that than women. And I mean, I'm sure that there's some women that would enjoy that kind of job, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing as when Kathleen Kennedy was complaining because she was at SNL and she's like, oh, there's no women operating those extremely heavy fucking cameras. Why aren't there any women represented there? It's like, first off, do you think women want to do that? Like, if they do, great for them. Congratulations that you want to do that. But that's not typically something that a lot of women pursue careers in. So if you're going to be complaining because of the people that are doing the hard work for you so you can walk in and say your lines to another actor or actress, you're complaining because the people that made that possible are men or that they have certain skin colors, get the fuck off of your high horse. Who the fuck cares who built the set, or what color the people are that built the set? The set is there. They did their job. Now, if they are not good at their job, that's one thing. But if they are getting their job done so that way you can do your job, then why the fuck are you complaining? That's a big F you to everyone that you have worked with in the past. Who the fuck cares what color their skin is as long as the work gets done, right? And that gets done well. It just seems like it doesn't, after, you know, seeing the actual interview, it doesn't seem like she's racist. It seems like it's more of an entitlement thing. And I get that she says, well, no offense. Like, oh yeah, I want it to reflect the world that we live in, and it's not just white people, no offense. It's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Everyone knows that there's not just white people in the world. There's people of all different shapes, sizes, and colors. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as they are the best people for the job, that should be what matters. And then going and complaining that there's a bunch of men, it's like, chick, you're one of the only women in this movie, and you're one of the leads. Like, why are you complaining? It's just, it doesn't come off as racist. It comes off as entitled. And that's something that you get a lot from people in Hollywood that get the big idea, oh, I'm this big movie star now. I've been in Creed. I worked with Sylvester Stallone. I worked with Michael B. Jordan. I'm in the Thor movies. I'm in Marvel. You know, you kind of get a bigger head on your shoulders than some people. And I think that's just, that's not her crime alone. That happens to a lot of people in Hollywood, is that they lose that humbleness that some other people have that do not have, you know, the advantages or, you know, the career chances that people like her have, and that they lose that humbleness about them. And so when you still see that in people that are at that level in Hollywood, it's a very it's more of a treasure, and it's more of like a diamond in the rough kind of thing, especially in Hollywood. So I wouldn't say Tessa Thompson is necessarily being racist. I think she's just being entitled in this statement, and you can take it with it what you will, but this is why I always say, do the research, go find the actual video footage or, you know, the recording of these interviews, because again, this is something that happened in 2018, and it's getting blown out of the water again on Twitter and making the circulations in the news articles. So I just wanted to talk about that and give my little 2 cents on that. If you guys want to go look more, there's a little bit more to the interview, but it's mostly Michael B. Jordan talking about what it is to be a man. You can go look for that. I'll actually link the description to this interview in the description below. So everyone, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you for watching this far through. My channel has been ghosted by YouTube, so any traction helps. I really appreciate it. And if you could give it a like and share it on social media, that would really help me. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.